right, welcome back to the show. Today we're kind of doing a kind of the follow up to our Comic Watchers episode that we did with Doug Marcaida about the his comic book currently funding on Kickstarter, and we have one of the writers here with us, and so we're going to find out about you know, more about him and you know how he and his find out the truth about the comic books. So let me bring in Earl Baylon, and we'll find out. We'll get this started.
Hey, how's it going, Chad? How
Yeah,
you doing?
how's it? I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Not too bad. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time out of your day to do that. So before we get started talking about the campaign, tell us a little bit about yourself, both as a comic book reader and a writer.
Um, uh, I've been reading comic books for a long time. I was trying to figure out what the first comics that I read were, and it's such a long time ago. It's either like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the graphic novels, or it was Wolverine. One of those two. They probably occurred around the same time, but I've been reading since then. Not I kind of just got back into it, but I started helping out writing comics when we started this whole thing with Kid Heroes. It started off with the movie Olympia with a Vengeance, and then we started expanding into comics that were based on the property after that. And since then, we've just been working on those. So I've been helping a little bit out with those. This is kind of my first foray into actually writing the dialogue, for an entire entire issues. So that's where we are.
Yeah. All right. So why don't you? I mean, we've talked to Doug. It's his story. How for you? How did you take the story that he wanted to tell and get it onto the page?
It was kind of an interesting process. So when Patricia, who is he runs Kid Heroes, he approached me and Justin to see if we wanted to write Doug's story, and essentially Doug gave us this 2 or 3 page outline of that was like all the stuff he wanted in the comic, all the story beats that he wanted to tell, kind of the big overarching like progress of the story. And me and Justin sat there and we broke it down. We're like, how can we tell this in 4 issues? What can we fit in? What do we have to like fall by the wayside? What things can we accentuate? So we did that for a couple of days, came up with a broad outline for 4 issues, and then started breaking them down issue by issue, and really tried to stick to Doug's outline with and really trying to figure out how to make these things work narratively. That was a lot of what we were doing, and of course writing dialogue for it.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the questions I was kind of interested in. So was it because it's basically his story? Was it finding his voice? Did he kind of help you with that by giving you like not really a speech rhythms, but kind of this is what I would say, or how I would say it.
It was more like he wanted. He gave us like that there were 2 brothers, that there was this cult that he wanted to. This is how the cult is, things about the cult, and we created a lot of the stuff about the brothers' personality, what they like, what they did, where they lived. All that kind of stuff. So like a lot of the nitty gritty world building stuff came down to me and Justin. Like Doug very much provided like the framework around it, and his voice is in the comic books. Like if you read the first page of Lineage, all the dialogue that comes from the Blade on the very first page was literally, I think, that was one of Justin's pages, but he lifted it straight up from like a text that Doug had sent him, I think. So
So I'm kind of looking at the different projects that you've worked on.
right.
You know, Star Wars Visions,
Mhm.
St. Denis Medical, Wonder
Right.
Man.
Yeah.
um, I mean, not just dropping a few.
Those things, yes.
So, how did any of those experiences help you? When you were writing the comic, this comic.
I think so. I think a lot of the experiences you get, at least I do from acting and voice acting. Um, it really is. It you learn a lot about story when you're like reading a script, when you're breaking it down, and I think that and you learn just like how everything works in terms of um, story beats and like creating tension and all that stuff. And I think that um, I was saying this to somebody earlier. The real challenge for both me and Justin is because we do work primarily in writing for screen. Um, was taking the what we knew about screenwriting and adapting it to a comic page.
Mhm.
Like even now, like if you look at like our scripts, it very much we use the language of film still. So internal day, or like what we set up, what kind of shot we want, over the shoulder, medium shot, or ultra close up, super close up. We two shot of this, smash cut to this. So it is still very much in the language that we know, but adapted um to comic books, which is weird because how do you smash cut in the comic? It just happens, I don't know.
So, having you've done three issues so far. Am I correct?
We've
Or
done we've completed the first. We are currently um halfway through the second one. So
so, what kind of things did you either learn from working on the first one that you brought into or you're bringing into the second one, or you know, was there any feedback that you got from the first one that you're hopefully improving on
mhm.
as you continue.
I think one of the things that I definitely learned is that um you know uh because it is a different medium between film and comic books. Like I don't need to write um like I can focus on different things. Like certain things can be dialogue, so and other things can just be in action. And what I did figure out was that because we're working with our artists Felix and Raymond. um it's very much like I needed to be more detailed in regards to what we saw on the page, like what kind of emotions we wanted from the characters, what the internal dialogue of the character was. And we don't necessarily always put that on in like a in a film script. So um and also learning how to be a little more sparse with dialogue, because we don't have as much room, you know, on a comic page. So there's a lot of that. But eventually, I think we're getting to the, at least I'm getting to the point where I'm figuring it out.
So, uh, how was your what was your experience like working with the artists on the book? I mean, you know, did you were you giving them some direction, or were they kind of saying this, I see what you did here in the script, this would work, best, or
Hmm.
what was that relationship like?
I think we work pretty great together. It is a lot of give and take. It's a very collaborative process. It's much like film. Um, like we came out with a rough outline for the first issue. We came out with a rough outline and then wrote a rough script, and that's what Felix drew the line art from. And even then, like he'll make changes, and either for need of for economy, or just better, more impactful, like visual storytelling, because he's the expert at that. We're the story guys and dialogue guys. And a lot of times, when he changes something, me and Justin will talk about it, and we're like, did we need this? And a lot of times we don't. A lot of times Felix was right. you know so we but of course there are certain things, if there's something that we think breaks story, or is confusing, then we'll give notes about that. But yeah, it's very back and forth. It's very open. We're all working to make a good book. So that's I think what our goalpost is.
And what was it about the project itself that made you want, to be involved with, the book and helping Doug tell a story?
I thought it was really cool. Reading the outline, it was a really cool concept, like everything from the viewpoint of an ancient semi-sentient blade. That seemed pretty cool. And Justin will tell you this. He likes writing a lot of sibling stories. He just happens to write a lot of sibling stories. And so that, and it being kind of entrenched in Filipino culture and some folklore, it was kind of a no-brainer for me. It was just, yeah, I'm 100% on this. It's because, like, when you get an opportunity like that, I think, like, you get a little more chance to, like, put yourself into the book. So definitely jumped that chance.
And how was it getting to know Doug and, make sure that you captured his, vision? And did he give you, let you play with knives, or?
So we're actually both, because Doug is East Coast and we're based in LA, so we actually didn't even meet for the majority of us writing the first issue. Like, we hadn't met until San Diego Comic-Con. But it was fun because we still had, like, meetings over Zoom and stuff, and especially in the beginning, to talk about kind of the feel of the comic book and all that. But and we still do that, to just right now it's more of checking in. Like, he'll read something and then he'll ask us questions about it, or he'll correct kind of the feel if he feels like it's off. But it's a pretty cool process. And we were talking about it earlier. Just, we all know Doug from for Forged in Fire, so it's pretty cool to hear him talk about all the different kind of blades that he's working on or designing, and where that's kind of taken him. So it's an interesting process.
Well, it was the first interview I've ever done where somebody's sitting there on the other side of the screen waving a knife at me, and I was scared. I figured I figured he could, hurt me from all the way, where I mean, yeah, we're both in upstate New York, but I think
Right. Yeah. You never know the secrets of the internet. Who knows what we figured out by now? What kind of magic there is?
so. It says you were on screen in Wonder Man. What was I just finished watching the series, and where would I have seen you?
I was literally in the first 5 minutes. So,
Oh, okay.
like, if the part where he gets fired from American Horror Story.
Yeah,
I'm one of the American Horror Story crew. So,
okay.
you'll see me there and like talk about moving the moonbeam. That's me.
Okay.
So
Okay.
my friends actually, some of my friends texted me and they're like, "Hey man, you got that dude fired," and I was like, "I know, I enabled him." So yeah.
I don't know if you watched do you watch the show The Black Mirror?
Yes, absolutely.
Is it going to be weird when Captain America meets Wonder Man, because the one episode?
Right, striking vipers. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
that episode threw a lot of people for a loop, and I was like, "Oh man!" But I mean, I don't think that's too far away,
Probably not.
Yeah.
Not to get off track, but it's like, oh wow, hold on, that's
Oh yeah. That's Wonder Man, and that's Captain America.
and it's just weird now.
Yeah, I know. Oh, that's right. They're both in the MCU.
Yeah. So, if you had the opportunity, if either one of the comic book companies came to you and said, pick any character do you want to work with, what's your answer?
Oh, that's a tough one. Jeez, writing X-Men would be amazing, but there's so many characters, right? I think it would be daunting for me to like tackle something like that. I would have to. I feel like I would want to start with a quieter book, like I don't know. I bring this book up a lot, and it's an Image book, but like I bring up Sam and Twitch a lot because I read that. I don't know what it is about Sam and Twitch. It was the first kind of like spin-off comic I had read, back in the day, but like I fell in love with it. So I think it's just the kind of X-Files-y kind of slow burn feel that I really latched onto. But I would love to write something like that.
Are there any comic book writers that you kind of gravitate towards, or consider to be inspirations, or you look to see how they do it and then put your spin on it?
I mean, the classic like Chris Claremont and Grant Morrison, like these huge classics, right? I read I read like all that stuff. Who am I thinking of? I'm blanking, but but they were huge in like just the development of my love for comics. So because I grew up like right in that age, and that's really what hooked me in reading. Yeah.
Are you currently reading anything that you're really enjoying, or think people should check out?
I am. What am I reading right now? I'm not reading anything right now, actually, which is unfortunate. I've just been kind of focusing on this and playing a lot of video games. I play a lot of video games, like too much probably.
And from your bio on the Kickstarter page, I take it you also play a lot of role playing.
Yeah, I play play a lot of D&D. So yeah, I literally just played D&D last night with my semi-weekly group. But I mean, that's all storytelling, that's all improv. So I enjoy that a lot. I've been playing on and off since I was 14 or 15. So it's a kind of an integral part of my life.
So, what are what do you want people to know about the book or the campaign that you think that or why they should definitely check it out, because they should.
Yeah, absolutely. You should check it out. Um, I think it's a really cool project in terms of like, we have multiple people from different kind of specialties working on the book. Like me and Justin really love, we're movie guys. Yeah. Felix is very much, he's an amazing artist. Raymond is an amazing artist. That is really their specialty in visual storytelling. Doug, is a martial arts expert, and all those things really come together really well when we're trying to tell the story that we are, because my emphasis, me and Justin's emphasis, really is building a connection with these brothers, right? So we're really out here trying to, we want you to like these guys, and I think we're doing an all right job at it. But when it comes down to them fighting and having to to knock some heads around, Doug and Felix really got on lockdown. There's some, like, I've never really seen martial arts and Filipino martial arts specifically depicted in such a way that feels so accurate, and feels like it really captures the movement of the art. So it is really cool. Like I read it. I was looking at the first book, and you see movements that I took, maybe 2-3 years of Filipino martial arts, and you see movements that are very much reminiscent, or like they're accurate to how it would feel like when you're, or what it looks like when you're practicing, like in real life. So it's super cool. Like if you want to get that feel of how Filipino martial arts would look in the freeze frame storytelling kind of way, then I think we got it on lock. So check it out.
Is there a particular character that you enjoy writing the most, or one of the characters that it's hard for you to find the voice, or
I really, it's funny because, like, I think when we started, I really gravitated toward the character, the older brother, Miguel. But now when we're like sitting here and actually writing it, I'm having a lot of fun writing Virgil, because he's like the goofier younger brother, that is kind of like the public personality. So it's fun giving him kind of the silliness and the jokes, and he's like the levity of everything. So it's really fun writing him.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you want to mention about the campaign? I know that, let's see, I'm looking at the page right now. Just a little bit over a week to go, and you're about just past the halfway point.
Yeah, it's coming down to the wire. Well, not the wire, but we're cutting it close, I think. I think it's you should check it out. Like we have a lot of really cool Kickstarter rewards if you're really into the variant covers and a lot of different options for like cover art. We have a whole bunch of different tiers that do cater to that, and eventually if you like back high enough, we are planning to release this all as a trade paperback, a TPB. So I can't wait for y'all to see that, because that'll eventually will have pretty good art as well for the cover. If we are figuring out who are going to ask to draw that cover, I'm not sure where we are with that, but it's going to be somebody cool. So yeah, check out the rewards.
And are you on social media? Or is there somewhere people can find out more about you or follow you?
Absolutely. I am everywhere online at Early Be Good. That's EARLYBGOODE, like Johnny Be Good, but Early Be Good. And or you can find me on earlbaylon.com. So everything is there.
Oh, awesome. Well, it was a pleasure chatting with you, and
Likewise.
you know, I know it's your fault for firing Wonder Man, but getting it fired. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
as long as you can live with
what
that.
a cool, yeah. What a cool story you got, though. I mean, yeah.
Alrighty. Well, if next time for the next issue, if maybe we can get you, Doug, and Justin on and have you all talk about how the project is going and all that.
Yeah, that would be great. I would love that. So
And
hopefully soon.
I know this is a 4 issue, but I'm sure you'd be up to telling more stories, because I know Doug's vision is that it's just a continuous story of things passing along as through the ages.
Absolutely. I'm always open to telling more stories. And it really is where Doug decides to take this next. So if I'm a good fit for me and Justin are a good fit for wherever the story is going next, I'm always down.
All righty. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Best of luck as the campaign finishes up. And
absolutely, thank you.
As always, we'll be following it over on Comic Watch. And this
follow it on Comic Watch.
No, that's not. Clip that. All right. Well, again, thank you very much. It was a pleasure chatting with you, and have a good evening.
All right, you too. Thank you so much for having me.